Chief guest for the day, Dr. Palanivel Thiagarajan, Honorable Minister of Information Technology and Digital Services, Government of Tamil Nadu, to share few words with the gathering.
Thank you very much, first for that extensive and very kind introduction, but more importantly for inviting me to this momentous occasion that has been at least 10 years in the making from inception till now. So I acknowledge the presence of the senior officers of the ICSI, both at the national and the state and the regional. Incoming president in a few days, CSB Narasimhan of Tamil Nadu himself, the past president, CS Nagendra Rao. I don't think the collector will make it today. He called me this morning and said he couldn't come. The commissioner is going to make it, but all the officers, past president of ICAI, Ram Sami, many of the past office bearers of the ICSI, some of the senior people of the ICAI, all of you, thank you for coming here this morning and for inviting me. We are in the midst of some very big programs. We just finished the Global Investor Meet 7th and 8th. Yesterday and today there's a World Tamil Economic Conference. In fact, I have to rush back this afternoon to participate in the valedictory function there. Tomorrow and day after we have the World NRI Meet. I have some presentation there. And I have so many guests in town because ministers, executives, very distinguished Tamils from all over the world are coming in for these events. So I was not sure whether I could actually take the time to come. But I had some other pending work in Coimbatore, so I decided, after getting this invitation, to combine that work and take half a day and come and be here. In particular, I wanted to be here for two reasons. One, I think Coimbatore is a very industrious town, one of the thought leaders and production powerhouses of Tamil Nadu, and a very civic-minded society where a lot of professionalism is nurtured, whether it is in manufacturing, in services, in education. And so I wanted to come and do my part to acknowledge and encourage that. I go to the ICAI building inauguration 2 years back, 3 years back. But when it was first started, that new hall, 18, when I was an MLA. So I feel like now I've had a chance to come and be part of both ICAI and ICSI in Coimbatore and have the association with that. I thought it was important to come because I made this point before, but I'll make it again. I think there is a very vital relationship and link between institutions and the quality of a democracy. And secondly, between the strength and independence of institutions and the growth of the economy and the quality of life of citizens. This is well established around the world. It's also theoretically very clearly logical that when you have in a democracy where the biggest role of democracy really is to prevent the aggregation of wealth to the few, to ensure that the many are provided for, and to ensure a reasonable distribution of opportunity and then the resulting wealth or resources, then surely having independent institutions is the way that you can achieve those goals most efficiently. I think historically there was always a debate that if you take advanced countries, you can see clearly that the quality and independence and robustness of institutions, and those institutions could be something as profound or basic to constitution as the judiciary or the media, and it could be something as commercially important as the ICAI or the ICSI, which are self-regulatory and licensing bodies, or for that matter, the Indian Medical Association in professions. It could be market regulators like SEBI. It could be any number of check and balance function, as well as licensing, regulatory, compliance authorities that you have. And in advanced countries, you will find that these institutions have very robust roles and very independent of the central axis of power of a democracy, which is elected governments. And they are therefore a balancing fact. And of course, by definition of saying advanced economies, that means they have very good economic growth. The question always used to be, which is the chicken and which is the egg? If you say that having strong, independent, functional, regulated authorities that are able to maintain a check and balance goes along with growth, is it that growth makes citizens ask for better institutions, more level playing field, greater transparency, greater accountability? Or is it that better institutions drive economic growth? And I think that debate raged for many decades, particularly till about the 2000-2002 era, because it was hard to say which was which. But I think what has happened since then, particularly since the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, is that a lot of these advanced economies, advanced societies have started to see a deterioration in the quality of their institutions, the independence of their regulatory or other bodies. And as a consequence, we have seen huge crises both in the financial markets as well as in geopolitics. And we have started to see a decline and a decay in economic outcomes as well as democratic outcomes. And by democratic outcomes, I start and not having greater and greater stratification where the rich get richer and everybody else gets left behind. So I think by now it is clear that institutions come first. Good, strong, independent, robust institutions create better democracies and create, therefore, better growth prospects and eventually better lives and better quality of lives for citizens. And I think that's why I thought it's so important that I should come here today, partly for the pride of Coimbatore, partly for the value of such institutions, and to encourage and give my support to these entities. In fact, I'll take that one step further. I was recently a guest at the YI chapter of the CII National Convocation Convention in Chennai. And they asked me, what is the one piece of advice you would give to us young entrepreneurs, young industrialists, young leaders? And the one piece of advice I said was, try and build institutions that will outlast you. Try and build things that are beyond the profit or beyond your lifetime, not just for your descendants and your associates and your employees and your partners, but that's what builds a country. You build institutions, and by institution I mean you build a sustainable and sustaining culture and way of acting that is cohesive, with aligned incentives, with shared values, and that will replicate itself beyond your time in that office. As somebody who practices what he preaches, that's what I tried to do when I built the DMK IT wing. I made sure that the level of professionalism, the kind of discipline was maintained, which was relatively uncommon in politics. And I also kept talking from day one. Whenever I gathered people together or I traveled I think 2 or 3 times, 6,000 kilometers across the state, went and saw every town, every city, ran interviews, ran meetings. I never used to talk about technical things. This is our ambition for this election or this purpose. All those I could disseminate through the office bearers, online, through videos, through whatever. But the values, the culture, who are we? Why are we here? What do we stand for? What is it that we will do? What is it that will not be acceptable? Felicitating them on their achievements is key to the role of a public servant and a politician. Unfortunately, as I said, for the commitments I had, and these were long-standing commitments before I got this invitation, I have to head back. But let me use this opportunity to convey in advance my wishes to the many graduates of the program who will be receiving their certification this afternoon. I hope you all have wonderful, impactful careers ahead. As many have mentioned, the role of corporate secretaries in governance and the role of governance in our economy and in our capital markets, especially for public limited companies, is inarguably the most important. And so I congratulate you on receiving your certification, and I wish you all very well. And with that, let me conclude my address. I apologize, I have to run shortly, so I won't be around to hear many of the more insightful comments to be said today. But I thank you all once again. I congratulate the society, the President, Thirulangovan, all of the office bearers for the establishment and functioning of this new building. I congratulate Coimbatore on yet another feather in its cap. And I congratulate the society for your ongoing efforts on behalf of the country. Thank you.